But I'll tell you this, Karoline Leavitt has been maybe the greatest White House press secretary in the last 30 years, at least. She's been nothing short of brilliant.
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the militant parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. Okay, so you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat.
Bye, Felicia.
First, it was Karoline Leavitt. Now yet another Trump top aide decides to leave in just a week. All amid reports that Trump hid in a catering truck and left a few White House aides as decoys in the Air Force One.
She has certainly proven herself to him as someone who does his bidding very well. You know, she dodges, she attacks, she obfuscates. I think that the glowing reports about how well that she did, when a lot of it was just demeaning the press and taking a reasonable question. Yeah, I know you're excited, Charlie, but then making it out like people are insane is not what you wanted in a press secretary. And I did want to review some of the mistruths, lies, whatever it was, from the podium. U.S. spending $50 million on condoms for Gaza. The Epstein files are a Democratic hoax. There are no war plans sent in the Signal chat with Jeffrey Goldberg. Kilmar Abrego Garcia was a gang member, then producing no evidence of it. America is becoming more affordable under Trump, and that the federal aid freeze won't affect any individuals. That's just a small little list, but wishing...
If only they were...
Karoline Leavitt said she left to stay with her small children, but perhaps she left because she doesn't want to be a decoy while having two small children. I mean, the fact is, Karoline Leavitt lied. She lied every day for Trump. And so who knows why she decided to leave? The fact also is that she was good at her job. She lied in a way that came across smooth, came across convincing. Perhaps if you were somebody who watched Fox News all the time, you wouldn't even realize that she was lying. She was hired by Trump right after his 2024 win with all of his momentum. Well, that is gone. He's polling in the 30 percentile. I mean, that was the percentile that Richard Nixon was at when he was forced to resign. And then the midterms are coming, and it seems very likely that Trump is going to lose the House. And people are going to be starting to run. He's officially going to be a lame duck president come November. And those J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Marjorie Taylor Greene, perhaps even Tucker Carlson are going to be vying for the title of the new cult leader, making anybody in the position of press secretary, or in this case, the new Andy Baker resignation. Why would you be tied to a failing administration that's about to become a lame duck administration that also doesn't care about your safety at all, leaves you in a decoy plane and takes his human transcriber instead? Perhaps that is why he's lost two top aides in just a week.
But just to give you a sense here, here's what I said on the first day of my first briefing. We have a common goal, which is sharing accurate information with the American people. If the president were standing here with me today, he would say he works for the American people. I work for him, so I also work for the American people. Now, I thought about that and what I was going to say. You know you're going to be asked. I spoke with President Biden about that because I wanted to make sure it portrayed how he felt about that particular role. And I conveyed it that way because that's essentially what the job is. Yes, speaking on behalf of the president, but also delivering to the best of your ability accurate information to the American public. Karoline Leavitt has spent these last 19 months putting Trump's personal interests over her professional duties of the role she is serving in. And that has meant lying to the public for Trump's benefit whenever and wherever she could, even about absolutely absurd things. Like when she emphatically repeated Trump's lies about vandalism at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool.
The vandalism is very real, despite what Tim Walz wants to say. It's an imaginary problem. No, it is not. It's a very real problem. These deranged individuals, many of them longtime donors to the Democrat Party, to Barack Obama, to Act Blue, that have been vandalizing and desecrating our federal monument.
Not true. Any of it. And we know it's not true because the Trump administration admitted in court that it was their own shoddy contractor who caused damage to the reflecting pool. What a silly thing to lie about. You never want to lie, but what an absurd thing. Or how about the time she said this about the cost of Trump's ridiculous ballroom project?
Back to the ballroom, I'm afraid. I just wanted to ask, because in July, the White House said that it would cost $200 million. Yesterday, the president said $300 million. Is $300 million now the operative figure? And why did it go up by so much?
$300 million is the figure. And again, it's not going to cost the taxpayers a dime.
Also not true. I mean, thanks to reporting, we know Trump's ballroom will cost much more than $300 million. And a significant portion of that is coming from taxpayers. In fact, contractor estimates obtained by the Washington Post found that the project will cost at least $600 million, with more than half of that coming from taxpayers.
Trump's Deputy National Security Advisor, Andy Baker, is leaving, making it two top people that evidently had Trump's ear. He was considered quiet but influential. He was once J.D. Vance's advisor and was against endless wars. Of course, Trump has started yet another new endless war. Perhaps this is why Andy Baker is leaving, because this war is tied to him too. The fact is, Iran says that they don't think the war is going to end until after Trump leaves office, because of the fact that Trump is starting the war and ending the war pretty much every day. Perhaps it's because Bibi Netanyahu doesn't want the war to end, and Trump doesn't seem able or willing to rein him in. Now you have two people who supposedly had Trump's ear gone right around the time that Trump is going to lose quite a bit of power with the midterms, impeachment proceedings, about so many countless ways that Trump has acted as if he's above the law, despite the fact that he is not.
He's going to have a fun next year. But we're going to put him on the campaign trail, too. Typically, just a little bit of campaign speak, if I may.
Yeah.
Typically, in the midterms, it's not about who's sitting at the White House. It's you localize the election.
Right.
And you keep the federal officials out of it. We're actually going to turn that on its head.
Good.
And put him on the ballot, because so many of those low propensity voters are Trump voters.
Yes, they are.
And we saw a week ago Tuesday what happens when he's not on the ballot and not active. So I haven't quite broken it to him yet, but he's going to campaign like it's 2024 again.
Oh.
For all these people that he helps. He doesn't help everybody, but for those he does, he's a difference maker. And he's certainly a turnout machine. So the midterms will be very important to us.
Perhaps one looming question is whether or not Susan Wiles is going to step down. There was reports that she was going to. This is Susan Wiles as Trump's chief of staff, the very quiet chief of staff that we often don't see or hear from in a highly unusual way. Usually chiefs of staff are much more visible and vocal than she has been, but she is probably devastatingly effective. The fact is, she has been with Trump throughout the campaign, and without her, he would truly be rudderless. Now, when the reports came out in June that she was stepping down, she said that she wasn't going to. But wouldn't she say that? So as we see top aide after top aide leave, the question is, will Susan Wiles stay? Will she stay despite the fact that Trump will have no political power, won't be able to continue advancing an agenda, historically low polls, endless war that he started? Is she going to want to continue to tie herself to him, or is she going to join the campaign of the next Republican candidate? That's somebody that we will continue to watch, whether or not Susan Wiles departs. And if she does, the chaos and havoc that will surely come from this, as she is most likely the one guiding and steady hand behind this whole scene.
Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.